I was very struck by something Dave said at the beginning when he said Ananda and Village and all of our communities are Kriya Yoga communities. I had never thought in those terms before, but it is so obviously true. And I remember to speak more on a personal level now, when I first came in 1969, we didn't have a Kriya ministry. That started formally in about 1990. But Swami Kriyananda, would give virtually every Saturday morning class and every spiritual renewal week, and he would teach us. I must have heard him give a class on the Om technique, the Hong Sa technique, Om technique, energization, hundreds and hundreds of times. And in those days, he trained us through magnetism and through his words, but no one sat down and said, now, how are you doing with your meditation? Are you understanding the technique? Here's a handout, here's a website, here's someone you can call. You just practiced it in the cold dark of your own little unheated teepee, and that's what you did. And then I remember after a while, and Swamiji would give Kriya initiations from time to time, and you would just go. When you were ready, you went. And I remember in 1971, I thought, I think I'm ready now. I've got the basics down. And I prepared myself for that week. And I took seclusion. I was living in a little trailer at this time, probably a 12-foot trailer, virtually no heat. The heat was the oil lamp, no running water. And I took that week and I stayed and I meditated, I observed silence, I just ate very lightly fruit. And I went to the initiation, and it was up at the meditation retreat where many of you had the initiation last night, but it was in another temple, same spot, but that temple fell down. So this is another temple. And I remember after being in silence and seclusion, fasting for a week, the first words I spoke were when I went up to receive the blessing, and I said, I do. And my voice sounded so different to me. And I knew I would never be the same. All my life up to that point, I had always been looking, even from a child. It was as though I was looking at life through a window. And I saw all the other people living their lives, but it never made any sense to me. Why are they doing that? Why is that important? Why are they putting so much energy? And I never felt I had connected with why I was supposed to be in this world. What was my life? And then I came to Ananda, and not to contradict my esteemed Guru Bhais, but I came in 69, and there were saints, and I saw them. Some of them are sitting on this stage today. And I looked and I said, those people have something. And whatever it is they have, I want that with my whole heart. And after that initiation, when I walked out of that temple, I thought, now I'm on the other side of the window. And I won't be looking through it anymore and saying, what's my life? I knew what my life was. I didn't know the details, but I knew it was about more and more attunement, more and more feeling the presence of God in my life. And as I said, I knew I would never be the same. Now, often when you're speaking with a group, we say, let's take a show of hands on some topic or other. I don't want to take a show of hands now, but I want to take a show of hearts. How many of you open your heart in your own way? How many of you are Kriyabans? No, don't move. It's inside. And how many of you aren't Kriyabans? And what does that feel like in your heart when I ask you that question? And then I want you to ask yourself the question, why not? Well, maybe you never heard of it before. Maybe this is your first day at Ananda. Maybe you're preparing, but you're not yet ready. Maybe you're too busy. But for most people, it comes down to, I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. Those people on the other side of the window, they're worthy. But I have to forever stay out here with my nose pressed against the glass of life, wondering when my life is going to start. You are worthy because you are a child of God. And so many people over the years have come to Ananda and they say, oh, I love Yogananda. I read autobiography. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I think in my heart, that's a good beginning. But what price do you want to pay for that love? Not outwardly, but inwardly. What effort do you want to make for that love? And that's the Kriya Yoga. As Jaya said, Kriya Yoga, be it your religion, pranayama be your religion, pranayama be your salvation. And what happens through the practice of Kriya Yoga is who you are gets offered up to God, and all that separates you from who you want to be gets slammed in your face, and you have to look at it, and it is not easy and it is not pleasant. It is hand-to-hand combat with that part of you that keeps you from living the life you want to live. And there's that beautiful song Swamiji wrote. It's called Isis Comes, but it says, still your heart if you want to pray. Still your mind if you want to pray. Still your soul if you want to pray. A lot of people want to pray. They want to still their heart and mind and soul. But without Kriya Yoga, it is impossible. In the Bhagavad Gita, the prototype of all disciples, Arjuna, says to the prototype of all gurus, Krishna, who as our guru tells us, was Master himself was Arjuna, Babaji was Krishna in that incarnation. And Arjuna says to Krishna, I want to meditate, but my mind is so restless. And Krishna says, the mind is more difficult to tame than the wind, more difficult to control than the wind. He's referring to Kriya Yoga. He's referring to pranayama. The mind is more difficult to control, but pranayama is through that you will get a control of your mind. Because all those restless thoughts when you try to meditate, all those restless desires when you want to love Guru, when you want to give your life to God, they all come in there and say, you're not good enough, you're too busy, you're too active, you have these responsibilities. You practice Kriya Yoga, and it's like all of those restless thoughts get focused and burnt up, and you sit to meditate, and there can be one thought in your mind, and that's, Master, I love you, and I want to become you, and there's nothing else that's important. You can't do it on our own. The mind is too restless. The karma is too complicated. But through Kriya Yoga, you can be transformed. And how does that work? And I'll close with this thought. Not by our own efforts, but when we are able to totally concentrate our heart, our mind, our soul, the Guru says, now I can begin my work with you. And he will get in there, and he will transform you so that you will not recognize yourself, in the sense that you will be free. And all the things, I need this hurts, I lost that, how could that have happened to me? All those things, fires and famines and death and disease, we've seen it all. And we've seen souls walk through those things with freedom because of the power of Kriya Yoga, and because this great work of Ananda is to spread the transforming power to everyone, to you who sit here today and think, I'm not ready, I'm not worthy. You are ready and you are worthy if you have the desire to change.